Hi, I'm Fred Brechtel, the CEO and owner of Brechtel Manufacturing. Today I wanted to talk about our model 2901 Tricolor Absorption Photometer. This is a light absorption measurement that can also provide measurements of black carbon. This unit here, TAP for short, it's quite small and compact, uses attenuation of light through a filter. And what I'm going to do today is just give a brief overview of the instrument and talk about how to change filters, the user interface, etc. So to start with, the front of the tap here shows you a small display. This display shows you the airflow rate through the sample inlet, which is here in the back, in liters per minute. The flow rate is manually adjusted using this needle valve here. Once it's set, it's generally doesn't have to be changed. The flow is drawn through the sample inlet through a vacuum connection, which is here on this barbed fitting, which needs to go to a small pump that's capable of drawing 2 liters per minute at about a few inches of mercury vacuum. Just continuing with the back panel here, you can see we have a RS-232 data output port, and we have the power in connection. The tap is running on 24 volts using a provided AC to DC converter power supply. The barrel connection just plugs in a lot like traditional, any kind of traditional electronics that you're used to. Cooling fan here in the back. Now, as I mentioned, the tap employs a filter through which light is passed, and detectors underneath the filter actually measure the attenuation of light as it passes through the filter. And as more and more light absorbing particles are deposited on the filter, the amount of light that passes through the filter decreases. Once the filter is used up, there are 8 separate sample channels. You have to replace it. Here are the bolts that are used to clamp the filter in place. There are 4 of them. To replace the filter, you need to remove these 4 bolts, as I've just done, and you need to just slide this, what we call a top hat assembly, out. This is the assembly that actually houses the light emitting diode light sources inside, and the light actually shines down through these channels here, through the filter paper. So you can see here, there's a filter installed right now, and you can maybe see the different spots from where particles have been passed through the filter. One of the things I'll mention, when you remove this top hat, you want to make sure that there isn't any filter debris left on these O-rings. So you should do a careful wipe, not over the instrument, but hold the top hat somewhere else over a table and just gently wipe the O-rings clean. And also be aware that there are 2 smaller O-rings, one right here and one right opposite, that are very important to ensure that they're installed, that they don't drop out. That doesn't normally happen, but it can happen, and it's important that they be replaced. Any of the O-rings, if they fall out, simply need to be replaced into their O-ring grooves. Set aside the top hat and use the tweezers that come with the tap maintenance kit to lift off the filter, just like that. Now, these filters can actually be used. They can be punched and then chemically analyzed for major ions or for other constituents if you desire, or they can simply be discarded. So put your used filter aside, and now you can see the mating channels underneath through which the air is drawn. And you can also see this power connection. That's where the LEDs get their power. And it's very important when we put this thing back, the top hat back, that the mating pieces, the mating power connectors here, made up with this guy. That's this is only, the top hat can only be assembled in one orientation, so you can't get it wrong. But if it feels like it doesn't want to fit in, that means you probably don't have it rotated to the correct orientation. So look at the bottom, figure out where these pins are, and they need to match where this goes, and that will make it much easier for you to slide this in and out. Okay, so with your tap you will have received at least 20 of these sample filters. These filters typically last anywhere from several days to several months, depending on the loading at your location. So you simply pick one filter out of your box or your bag, and you want to make sure that the bright side of the filter is facing upwards, and you simply drop it in to this cavity where the filter rests. And you can see I can touch the middle here, that's not going to do any damage, but do not touch the filter with your fingers. The oils will change the characteristic of the filter. And don't touch the filter in the area where the sample flow is passing through. That's around this annulus that's down here. Okay, so to continue the filter change, you're looking for the pins here, and that need to align with this. The top hat should slide nicely and snugly into place. Give it a little push down. And then install the opposite bolts first, snugly. And then put the next two opposites down. Like this, and tighten these again, tighten these again. These want to be nice and tight so you get a good snug fit. If you've got an Allen wrench, you can also use an Allen wrench to make these nice and snug. And then this red button designates the filter change, and you push that and you notice it just stopped blinking, and now the unit knows that it has a new filter in place. Okay, so that's the TAP, the Tricolor Absorption Photometer. Thanks for listening.